Good morning, YouTube. Hey, everyone out there in survival land. How you doing? Oh, they're frisky. Oh, look at that. Look at them go. Now, these things ignite really quick. See how quick? I just barely touched that. Hey, YouTube. How's it going out there today? Hey, I'm making a video today. Going to cover several different topics, but mainly it's going to be about patriotism and, everything that's going on lately. It's just, especially the winter storm in the Midwest and going on over in Europe. It is just really, really, really very cold. In fact, I've got this warm, nice a camouflage vest on. It's actually about an inch and a half thick, and very, very nice, very warm. Looks cool. Works great out in the field, and it blends in real good. It's not very shimmery. Doesn't reflect light too much, and it does a great job out in the woods. So I really love this vest. But anyway, the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about patriotism and supporting your own country. And there's a 15-year-old kid over in Europe who I hope kind of rubs off on the American teenage groups here. And this is so wonderful to see how our young people are opening their eyes already and seeing exactly what's going on. Check out this video. This video gives me so much pride to know that our youth and our young adults are open to knowing just exactly what's going on. So this is a wonderful video, in my opinion. I'm glad I got it, and I'm glad I viewed it, and I've watched it several times, and I'm just so thankful that there are young people out there who are really paying attention. But anyway, moving on. This article came out a couple days ago, and it says FAA loses track of 119,000 aircraft, both government and privately owned aircraft. So this kind of makes me wonder: is there going to be a false flag using a small aircraft again, much like the federal building, or that was the IRS building? I forgot what state that was in, but anyway, where the gentleman flew the plane into the building and burned the whole thing down. How in the heck does the government lose track of 119,000 aircraft? It is just beyond me. And check out that link. This is an interesting link here. Not that I'm a fan of the Kardashians, but Khloe Kardashian compared the TSA pat downs to a version of public rape, and I agree. I absolutely agree with that, because have you seen what they're doing to the children? I mean, they're making them undo their pants, and they're touching their private areas. And there are so many horror stories about people who have prosthetics, so they've got to take their prosthetics off and this and that, and it just, I do agree. This is like a form of public rape. It is. It's a form of public rape, and our government just lets it happen. And what makes me more frustrated is that when Khloe Kardashian comes out and openly speaks and says, hey, look, this is public rape, it's right away the government steps in there and says, you know what? You can't say that, because it's what we have to do, which is a bunch of crap. Anyway, link will be underneath. And here's something about the city of Detroit, which is kind of scary. More than 20% of Detroit's area, which is 139 square miles, is pretty much depleted, and it's pretty sad. And I know some guys and other truthers have asked me about Detroit and just how bad it is. Well, it's like 20 to 25% of the city isn't even being used. I mean, there's certain pockets that have been abandoned, and people have just moved out, and the crime is just unbelievable in Detroit. And and I'm not trying to be racist or anything else like that, but it's just the truth. I mean, it's Detroit has cut their police force and things like that. Now what they're talking about cutting is municipal services. That's right, like garbage pickup and things like that. You know, it's just crazy how they want to cut this out, and they're saying that the reason why they have to do this is because it's going to save the budget. And you know, this is just another fact of what Gerald Celente talks about, how it's just going to be step for step for step in the wrong direction, and he's right. He's absolutely right. I mean, this is like a snowball effect that's rolling down a mountain, and there's no way to stop it. It's just absolutely crazy. And here's just proof in the pudding. And this is a Wall Street Journal article. So I mean, it's not like I'm getting this from a secondary source or things like that. This is the real deal. I mean, they've even talked about removing some of the people who live in these depleted areas and moving them more towards the centralized area of the city, so they can actually knock down all these houses in like one big sweep. But the thing that scares me about that is that they're gathering the people and putting them in one place. Why would you want to do that if you weren't considering martial law at some point in time? I mean, it just doesn't seem to fit. I mean, Detroit is a mess. It is, and you know, I don't want to get into the politics of that, but you know, it's been this way for many years. And you can't point at one mayor and say this is the one mayor that screwed it all up, but it's just been this way for many years. Now here's an interesting article, and this is from the Living Planet. Mercury poisoning makes male birds homosexual. This is rather interesting. Check this link out, and I read it myself, and I was just kind of shocked because they talk about uh, zero point 0.1 parts per million, and how that really doesn't really affect too much. But then when you get the oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Um, there was actually 3 tests done. One group got 0.05 parts per million. One group got zero point 0.1 parts per million, and the other group got 0.3 parts per million. And it seems as though that the group that got to 0.3 parts per million, it made those birds gay. So it was rather interesting. So check that out. And last but not least, I found this one. This is a great article, and I'm really happy to say it. It says that people are sick and tired of saying happy holidays, and they have begun to go back to saying Merry Christmas. And I want to applaud that because God is the reason for the season, and I myself being a Christian, and I've always said Merry Christmas as many possible times as I could, and then I've caught myself saying Happy Holidays, and I get kind of frustrated, and I go back to saying Merry Christmas. So I'm glad to see that people are getting back to saying Merry Christmas as opposed to Happy Holidays. Well, guys, it is blasting cold here in Michigan. Today's temperature right now is about 8 degrees. The wind's blowing about 30 miles an hour. We got about 5 inches of snow last night, and you know, it's just really cold outside. I would say the wind chill is probably between 10 and 20 below right now. It is really cold. So everyone stay warm. God bless. Take it easy. We'll see you on the flip side.